If this isn't making you salivate, you must be vegan. Eating picanha this good should be illegal. In this video, I'm going to show you how to cook Brazilian barbecue or picanha. So just sit back, grab a drink or two, and let's get into it. And don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, share, it all helps. Picanha comes from the rump of the cow. Revered in Brazil, the picanha is a great cut of beef, and it's known as the queen of steak. Now I grabbed this 1.7 kilogram grass-fed beauty from Mick, the master cuddler, out of Gippsland Premium Meats. And I suggest cuddling your local butcher today. Then yours might look after you, just like mine does me. What's that? The pink gloves? You know what they say, once you go pink, your fingers don't stink.
Yeah, there's no going back now.
Picanha is also known as Rump Cap, Sirloin Cap, and sometimes even top Sirloin Cap. And now it's time to prep the Rump Cap, and we're gonna leave the fat cap on, but flip it over, and we just need to trim off any fat or silver skin that is underneath, as one, we don't need the fat there, and two, the silver skin will just be chewy. And how aggressive you go on the trim is totally a personal preference. And that's how much I trimmed off. And leaving the rump cap with the fat cap facing down, we can see that the grain of the meat runs this way. And we need to cut it across the grain because we're putting this on a rotisserie. And we're just gonna cut it into roughly 5 centimeter pieces across the grain, as I've already said. Now, if we were cutting these up to cook as normal steaks, we would cut them with the grain and then slice off against the grain for every bite that we want to eat. And as we'll be shaving this meat off the rotisserie, we're still going to be slicing it against the grain as we take pieces off. Now grab your rotisserie and just curving a piece of the rump cap like a horseshoe, you're just going to stab it with the rotisserie rod and secure it, watching out that you don't stab your fingers because it hurts. And repeating the process for every piece. And just cap that off with the other rotisserie spike, making sure to tighten it up. And that is what yours should look like.
That's how you do it.
And now to season the picanha, we're just going to oil it up with a little bit of olive oil all over. Then once all oiled up, we can hit it with some SPG or salt, pepper, garlic. Sergeant Seasoning on board for action. Enemy acquired, preparing to salt. Enemy advancing, reloading with pepper. They just won't stop, finishing off with garlic. And once fully seasoned, pop it aside and those natural juices will dissolve the salt and draw it all into the meat. That's going to tenderize it, add flavor, and help create that crust. As the salt is absorbed into the outer edges of the beef, it's going to do 3 things: tenderize the meat, add flavor, and create a better crust. Today, I'm using a 57 centimeter Weber Kettle, and I'm pairing it up with 2 charcoal baskets and the rotisserie ring. Why? Because I want to cook on a rotisserie today. And how I'll do that is by filling a chimney starter with lump charcoal, lighting it up. Once it's fully ashed over, I'll put my charcoal baskets in the middle of the charcoal grate and I'll dump my fuel into them. I'll then just put these to either side of the charcoal grate, carefully put the grill in, and then remove the grill because I don't need it for this cook. Don't know what I was thinking. Don't forget to add a drip pan to catch the oil and fat. Then add the rotisserie ring, pop the rotisserie in and turn the button on, get that motor spinning. Pop the lid on, making sure all the vents are wide open and that lid vent is to one side of our rotisserie. And this way it'll cook more evenly. And I'll come back and check that in about an hour. Today I'm using a rotisserie setup and I'm cooking with a high indirect heat. And all up, this picanha will be ready for the first slicing in 1 hour. Or for those of you using my beer timer, you're looking at a 2-beer cook. Cheers! At the 1 hour mark, a 5 centimeter thick piece of picanha steak is gonna roughly be reading around 51 degrees Celsius internally. As the fat renders during the cooking process, it will impart a luscious flavour that will make every bite unforgettable while keeping the meat moist. You keep encouraging him, but that's still smart. The picanha has been spinning for an hour now, so we can check it. Have you ever seen a prettier sight? Now this is ready for slicing, so we can remove it from the Weber and put it on a chopping board. If this isn't making you salivate, you must be vegan. And now using a sharp knife, you're just going to start slicing off thin pieces of meat.
Go ahead, drool all you want.
And once you've sliced off the outer pieces of meat, place the rotisserie back in and get it spinning again. Pop the lid back on and come back in 20 minutes and slice some more off. Now, if you prefer to have your steak more rare, slice it all up now. The outer parts are going to be more well done, and as you get closer to that center, it's just going to get rarer. Me personally, I like to let that picanha to keep cooking and then just slice into it every 20 to 30 minutes. Enjoying a few beers along the way and just enjoying the moment. Cheers.